Magandang araw! We are Group 4 and welcome to our vlog for the course Reading in Philippine History. This activity aims to show how history can be understood through material culture preserved in museums. Our vlog is titled Tracing Filipino Identity Through Art and Culture, and today we are visiting the National Museum of Anthropology in Manila. The National Museum of Anthropology houses artifacts that represent the cultural roots of the Filipino people. Through objects such as pottery, tools, weapons, clothing, and musical instruments, we can better understand how early Filipinos lived, believed, and expressed their identity. In Reading in Philippine History, we learn that history is not only written in documents, but is also reflected in physical objects, which serve as evidence of the past. As we enter the museum, we are reminded that these artifacts are preserved to help us study and interpret Philippine history. Each gallery represents a chapter of our cultural story, beginning with pre-colonial life and extending to indigenous and Muslim communities that continue to shape Filipino identity today. One of the earliest indicators of Filipino civilization is pottery. In the pottery galleries, we see plates, bowls, clay crafts, and large jars created by early Filipinos. These objects were used for daily activities such as cooking, storage, and rituals. Some pottery pieces, such as stoneware bowls and decorated earthenware fragments, also reveal early trade connections with neighboring Asian regions. The presence of large burial jars suggests that early Filipinos believed in an afterlife, showing how culture and belief systems were deeply connected even in ancient times. These pottery artifacts are considered primary sources because they are original objects created and used by people in the past. By examining their size, design, and function, historians can reconstruct aspects of early Filipino life without relying solely on written records. As we move deeper into the museum, we encounter displays related to weapons, tools, and everyday objects. Bladed weapons such as bolos and knives were not only used for combat but also for farming, hunting, and survival. Other weapons, including small cannons or lantaka-style firearms, demonstrate early Filipino metalworking skills and community defense systems. Shields and protective gear, along with traditional clothing, further show how identity and social roles were visually expressed. We now enter the Lumad Gallery, which focuses on the indigenous peoples of Mindanao. The introduction panels explain who the Lumad are and how their traditions continue into the 21st century. Inside the gallery, we see weapons, shields, wood-carved tools, woven bags, ropes, baskets, and traditional attire. The textiles display intricate patterns, colors, and materials that reflect identity, environment, and social meaning. All of these objects are primary sources because they come directly from the communities that produced and used them. They provide first-hand evidence of Lumad craftsmanship, beliefs, and ways of life. By studying these artifacts, we gain a clearer understanding of how indigenous cultures preserve their identity despite colonization and modernization. Within the same cultural context, we also encounter musical instruments from Muslim or Moro communities in Mindanao. These instruments, such as gongs and percussion sets, were used in rituals, celebrations, and important social events. Music played a vital role in communication, leadership, and spiritual expression within Muslim Filipino societies. These instruments are also considered primary sources because they are original cultural objects that reflect the lived experiences of the people who created them. Together, Lumad artifacts and Muslim musical instruments highlight the diversity of indigenous and Muslim identities in the Philippines. They remind us that Filipino culture is not singular, but is made up of many distinct traditions that coexist and influence one another. Another important section of the museum focuses on faith and belief systems. Here, We see wood carvings that resemble human figures, animals, and spiritual beings often associated with Inido or ancestral spirits. There are also ritual objects, spears, bows, arrows, and ceremonial tools used in religious practices. These objects suggest that early Filipinos believed in spirits connected to nature, ancestors, and everyday life. In this section, historians and anthropologists play an important role in interpreting the meaning of these objects. While the artifacts themselves are primary sources, the explanations provided by experts are secondary sources. These interpretations help us understand how rituals were performed, what the symbols meant, and how belief systems influenced social behavior. Without scholarly interpretation, the full historical context of these objects would be difficult to understand. As we continue, we encounter carvings of animals, storage boxes, and figures representing daily life and moral values. These artifacts further show how culture, belief, and survival were closely connected in early Filipino communities. We then arrive at the Baybayin Gallery, which highlights early Filipino writing systems. Here, we see medallions with syllabic scripts, bamboo inscriptions, and early printed books such as religious texts influenced by Spanish colonization. It demonstrates that Filipinos had their own system of writing even before the arrival of the Spaniards. The transition from indigenous scripts to colonial writing systems reflects cultural change, adaptation, and continuity. Baybayin artifacts are primary sources, while the explanations provided by historians and linguists serve as secondary sources that help us understand how writing shaped identity, communication, and power. Through the National Museum of Anthropology, we are reminded that history is not only found in textbooks, but also in the objects created by people long ago. Pottery, weapons, clothing, musical instruments, carvings, and writing systems all serve as evidence of Filipino creativity, resilience, and cultural depth. In reading in Philippine history, we are taught to analyze sources critically. Primary sources allow us to see the past directly, while secondary sources help us interpret and understand their meaning. Museums play a vital role in preserving these sources and making history accessible to future generations. Through this museum visit, we traced Filipino identity through art and culture. We saw how different communities express their beliefs, values, and lifestyles through material culture. Despite differences in region, language, and tradition, these artifacts reveal a shared story of adaptation, survival, and identity. This concludes our RPH vlog, Tracing Filipino Identity Through Art and Culture. Thank you for watching, and we hope this experience helped you see Philippine history not just as stories from the past, but as a living heritage preserved through culture and tradition.